Hey y'all, welcome back to Shady Conversations, where we speak the truths most women keep tucked away. I'm your host, the Legacy Curator, Shaina Mowatt. Whether it's your first time tuning in or you've been riding with me since the beginning, this platform is all about shamelessly amplifying the unspoken truths of womanhood, and today's episode is another step on that journey. Let's get into it. Hey, Shady ladies. Y'all, it is August. We are at the end of summer, and 2026 has been flying by. But let's do a quick check-in. I'm going to tell you guys what's been going on in my life. Y'all can tell me in the comments what's been going on in your life. So, a couple things we talked about in previous episodes, some shows that I've been getting into. I did actually watch I Will Find You, and it was really good. The plot twist was it blew my mind. I knew that family had something to do with it. I just didn't know what they had to do with it. And then I was like, yo, he's obsessed. But anyways, it was a really good show. 10 out of 10. I highly recommend. So y'all know we're doing the second half readathon. And I didn't read my August book. My July book. I didn't read my July book. But I'm going to read my July book. We are halfway through August and I haven't made it past the introduction, but I'm going to get it done. And I have already picked my August book, which we'll talk about later. But I really need y'all to hold me accountable in this group chat because I be busy, but I be acting like I'm bigger than the program and I'm not. This is something that I want to do for myself. I want to get back to reading. I don't know how people fit sitting down and reading a book into their schedule, but I am determined to do it because that's also like my me time. And maybe sometimes I just need to turn off the TV and pick up my book instead. But I'd be so engulfed, is that the word? I'd be so engulfed in these shows that like, I don't want to do anything else. But anyways, I'm going to read this book, guys. Update on the Nolan Wells case. There was an audio released where people were sitting there talking about, oh, is he dead? And I don't want to make this casual or anything like that. And it's not really a thing to celebrate because at the end of the day, we have lost a young Black brother. But 3 people have been charged in his case. And I don't think that's justice just yet, of course. You know, trial has to go on. I feel like more people probably need to be charged as well. But 3 people were charged, so we're making progress. And that I am happy to hear. Like I said, I am staying updated on this case, but I'm not a news reporter. I don't want to do the family an injustice by talking too much on it. But I figured since I did speak on it in a previous episode, I just wanted to give an update here as well. So what's been going on with Shady Conversations? You know, I did admit to you guys that I haven't been consistent like I should be, but I am getting back into my flow. I was actually I have 3 episodes that I'm batch recording today, and I planned on videotaping it. However, when I threw my cousin her baby sprinkle, come to find out my camera is broken. Like, it's doing this weird glitchy thing where if you turn it on, the lens just keeps going in and out and the screen doesn't actually turn on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how that happened. I think my twins probably dropped it, but I'm not going to blame them because I don't actually know what happened. So the new plan, instead of just saying, all right, pause on everything, I'm going to continue with audio. I think it's time for me to invest in this business again. So I'm going to buy myself a new camera, an official camera, and I'm not trying to be wasteful or anything like that. So I'm going to get that camera fixed and just gift it to my niece because she's been asking for a digital camera. And even though this one is more for vlogging, which I'm sure she will appreciate that anyway, she can still take pictures on it. So I think it's a great way for her to start on something used, and not because it's already been broken, but my girl likes to break things and I'm not here for it. That's my girl though, so not too much on her. She gonna get her camera. She don't know yet. And her birthday's coming up, so that's kind of perfect. I've been planning a family trip for like me, my dad, my sister. I don't know if my brother's gonna make it because he lives so far. My stepbrothers, and I think this trip might actually make it out the group chat. Actually, I am determined to make this trip make it out the group chat. Because one thing about me is that I am all about creating memories for my sons. And when I was little, we did a lot of things with the family together. So I'm going to make sure that they know that we do a lot of things with the family too. Now, it looks a lot different from when I was younger because it was like uncles, aunties, cousins. But I like my immediate family. So we gonna keep it just us, and we gonna, my stepbrother had his daughter, and I met her for the first time actually on the twins' second second birthday. Oh my gosh, I met her for the first time on their third birthday. I haven't seen her since because we don't live down the street from each other. But it's gonna be cool to see them interacting. I'm sure she's up and moving around now, and they're just gonna drive her crazy. But they love all their little cousins, so it's gonna be a good time. And then of course my niece and nephew from my sister, they're going to be there always. Those are like the big cuz because she started so early. But I mean, not so early. She didn't start too early, but she started way earlier than us. My niece is 10 and my boys are 3. She's 11. I don't know. Something like that. And then this past weekend, I did have my Pretty Spaces Powerful Portfolios event, and it was better than I could even imagine. Honestly, I didn't even know what to expect. I had it planned out. Like, I know all my events go good, but this was the inaugural event. Like, I want to do it every year, maybe twice a year, starting in the spring. But yeah, it went really, really well. I got a lot of good feedback. Everybody saw the vision. Everybody's like, the fact that you're creating spaces for women and Black women to come together, network, share their businesses, and also learn something about real estate investing, financial literacy, and all these things is beautiful. And I was so relieved that they caught the vision and that I wasn't just pushing things on people, but I also made it fun. So I was a speaker, and then um, my real estate sister Janelle, who also is an interior designer, she was a speaker. So I spoke on the real estate side of things, the wealth building side of things, and she spoke on creating pretty spaces as an investor or even a homeowner and doing it on a budget and things like that. And everybody was really engaged in that, as I knew they would be. And then we did a DIY activity where we painted these book vases, and it's like you're drawing your story, you're creating your story. Yeah, it was a good time. I did take notes on things that I would want to go a little differently. The venue was perfect, but oh my gosh, we were on the 4th floor in the loft and the elevator was broken. It was broken. Not to mention all the things that happened leading up to Pretty Spaces, but I feel like when something bad or something is testing you, or like, you're just starting to feel real defeated before an event, that's how you know that you're doing something good, because the devil is just trying to play. Like, he's sticking his foot out and try to trip you, but you get right back up and you stick it to the plan, and it ends up being the most beautiful thing in the world. So Pretty Spaces Powerful Portfolios was a success, and I cannot wait to bring it back next year, and I hope to see more of you shady ladies there. This episode is brought to you by me, your legacy curator, Shaina Mowatt. I'm not just here to talk about growth, identity, and purpose. I help you build the life you're praying for in real time. As a real estate professional, mortgage originator, and financial strategist, I guide individuals and families through the decisions that shape legacy. From purchasing a home to restructuring debt, to creating a financial plan that feels doable, intentional, and God-led. Whether you're buying your first home, trying to understand what you can actually qualify for, wanting to utilize real estate as a wealth building tool, preparing for a new season financially, or just tired of trying to figure it out alone, I'm here to help you move from overwhelmed to over-prepared. If you're ready to stop guessing and start building, you can connect with me directly at yourlegacycurator.com or click the link in the show notes. Because legacy isn't something you leave behind, it's something you're building right now. All right, back to the episode. So this morning, since kind of flowing off of what I just said about the devil trying to trip you, this morning when I sat down to do these podcasts, I spilled my coffee, like a fresh cup of coffee that I just made and was really looking forward to, all over myself. And you know what? All I did was I cleaned up, I pivoted. I have become the queen of pivot. Like, can't nobody tell me nothing. Nothing is going to stop me. I am just in go mode. So I cleaned up what I needed to clean up. And then I just changed my clothes. I need to take a shower. My legs feel a little sticky right now. But I was like, I'm going to record this podcast and I'm going to worry about this later. But like, yeah, maybe this episode is about to be a big one or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But that's just been my life lately, like bobbing and weaving and jumping over hurdles and just continuing with the plan. I feel like I have reached a point where I have been exhausted mentally, emotionally, spiritually exhausted, that the only thing that I can do is to continue to move according to the plan, God's plan, of course. Once he puts something in my mind, it's just, yes, God, let's do it. So yeah, that's the point of life that I'm at right now. I am doing a 60-day sober season. I am 30 days into my 60 days, y'all, and it feels like a really long time. But really, it hasn't been that long because the days have just been flowing and it hasn't been that hard to not have a drink. But, you know, I like to sip on some wine while I'm cooking, or I'm a social drinker. So when I take out the other agents and things like that, like I like to have something, you know, me and my man, we be getting a little lit together sometimes when we ain't got nothing else to do. But I've just been sober for 60 days because I just want to make sure that I'm focused. Well, I haven't been sober for 60 days yet. I've been sober for 30 days. But I just want to make sure that I'm focused and that I'm hearing God when he's speaking to me because, y'all, the mess that I've been dealing with is like, and I don't want to sound like it's been overbearing, but the things that I've been dealing with is kind of just like coming out of left field, like me spilling my coffee all over myself today. I never do that. I'm very clumsy, but I don't really be making those type of errors and those type of mistakes, or like Pretty Spaces Powerful Portfolios where that all of a sudden the elevator's broken. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just things are just coming out of left field. So it's just like, what? And I'm kind of just like, I can either sit down, lay down and take it, or I could just keep pushing through, and I'm just pushing through. So right now in my sober season, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm pivoting. And like I said, I have become very good at pivoting. So in these 60 days of my sober season, I'm fasting, but I'm fasting without announcing. So I have a set day of the week where I'm fasting, and I'm not going to tell you guys. I know y'all want the scoop. Maybe I'll tell you guys afterwards. But I have a set day each week where I'm fasting, but I don't tell people I'm fasting. I just continue through my day as per usual. And one thing that fasting has taught me is to be more aware of my attitude. Because you know, when you're hungry and you start lashing out on people, but you know that like you did it to yourself and you don't really want to put it on blast that you're fasting because it's something between you and God. So you're like, all right, hold on, Shaina, let me just reel it in real quick. I have become very aware of my attitude. And fasting with toddlers has been teaching me such patience, because I be like, I ain't even eat yet, y'all. And y'all all in my face. Y'all want to play. Like, but they don't know. And it's not anything that they did. It's something that I'm choosing to do. So I'm also learning patience through these fasting that I'm doing. So in Bible study, we've been doing a Crazy Faith series, which is kind of like everything that I talked about in my Fearless Faith episode. If you haven't heard it, please go back and listen. Now is a great time to catch up on episodes. Actually, pause because I completely forgot to announce, and here I am about to forget to announce it again. Y'all, last week, the last episode that I posted before this one, I reached my 20th episode. And even though I probably should be further along than what I am right now, because there's 52 weeks in a year and I was not posting every week, but I reached my 20th episode. Some people don't make it past their second or third episode because once you start, you realize it's really draining. It's kind of hard. It's time consuming. But y'all, I made it to 20 episodes. And now I'm even more determined to just keep going because I'm already here. So prepare to be sick of me. But let's just take a minute. That's me clapping it up. I'm so proud of myself. Oh, and if you've been listening to every single episode, I'm clapping it up for you too. Thank you. I truly appreciate you. And if you haven't been listening, that's okay. This is the perfect time, like I said, to go catch up. We're only 20 episodes in. Don't wait until I'm on my 500th episode and now you want to start back at the beginning, because in 500 episodes, I'm going to be a different Shaina. Now, I do think that everything that I'm saying now will still apply, but I am 32. I'm in my early 30s. When I turn 35, things might change. You know what I'm saying? Life's going to look a little different. I'm going to be talking about some different things. So, yeah, go back and catch up now. Anyways, like I was saying, in Bible study, we've been talking about crazy faith. And the previous lesson that we had, there was like a scale. Basically, you had to rate yourself where you are in life with your faith right now. And so the scale was, if you're between 1 and 3, so it's a scale 1 to 10. If you're between 1 and 3, you're struggling. If you're between 4 and 6, you're growing. And if you're between 7 and 10, you're thriving. I rated myself 4 to 6. I'm growing. And the reason being, even though I have reached that point of exhaustion, I think that my faith, I can walk in faith because I feel like I have no other choice. But sometimes it's still very hard to see things. It's not that I'm doubting that it will happen. I'm wholeheartedly like, God, it's your will. It has to happen. If it doesn't happen, cool. Something is going to happen. Whatever your will is going to happen. But also, sometimes he'd be like, nah, this is going to happen and I just don't see it yet. So that's why I say I'm still growing. I think I'm getting a lot better with my faith. I think certain things like community accountability and, just getting into my Bible, it might help me a little bit. But like I said, I'm growing and I've been in Bible study and I think that's been helping me a lot as well. I just feel like right now, I literally have nothing to lose and everything to gain by locking in. This 60-day sober season is my thing to kind of get me to the next level. Okay, so y'all tell me. First, I want you to rate yourself on your faith and think about where you want to be in life, how you might get there. You might not see the plan, but you see the vision. Rate yourself. On a scale of 1 to 10, where's your faith? 1 to 3, you're struggling. 4 to 6, you're growing. 7 to 10, you're thriving. And then I want you to ask yourself, what is something that you can do to take yourself to the next level? So for me, like I said, I believe, because I started this 60 days before I even got to this point in Bible study, and I feel like it's just been very confirming of everything that I'm doing. I literally just woke up and was like, I'm just going to do it. And I can say that I said that, but I feel like God was telling me to lock in for the next couple of days because your life is about to change. So I think for me, it's the 60-day sober season. That is my thing to kind of take me to the next level. So once you figure out your thing, I want you to apply it. But it's very important that we kind of measure our goals. Have you guys ever read that book, Atomic Habits? It changed my life. I hope you read it. If you haven't read it, go read it and take notes and really study it. But your goals have to be measurable. You know how when you have kids and as they're growing, they always come up to you and they're like, look, I'm getting taller than you. I'm growing. They're either at your shoulder or something, or maybe you mark their heights on the wall for them to see and they're always going back to double check. We all need to have those markers. My marker here with the Shady Conversation platform, obviously, is the amount of episodes that I did. I started the pod at the top of the year and I'm here today recording episode 21. And when I say, if I had realized that I recorded episode 20 when I realized, I probably would have been celebrating with y'all on the last episode. But here I am at episode 21, and I'm like, it wasn't until I was posting the last episode and I wrote episode 20, and I was like, dang, I made it 20 episodes, y'all. So it's super important to have those markers, because sometimes we're just going and going and going, and we're looking to the top of the mountain, and it just seems like we just have so far to go, so far to go. But if you just take a moment and turn around and look back, but don't look back because you're missing anything, look back because you want to see how far you came, that is going to be your boost of confidence to keep going. And sometimes that's all we really need. So stop looking at how far you have to go and just look at how far you've come. And so, like I said, I've been in Bible study, and it's kind of just been confirmation for everything that I'm doing. And then I went to church, y'all. And y'all know I always say that every time I go to church, it's the first time in a long time. But I went to church and I walked in there, and I was late too. The traffic was crazy. I left on time. I was supposed to be getting to church on time, but they were doing like construction or something, and 2 out of 3 of the lanes were closed, and traffic was just heavy. It added like an extra 30 minutes. So I missed like the first half of praise and worship. And then I got there and I was like, you know, when they get really deep into it, but if you weren't there for the build up, it's kind of just seems a little dry, boring. And you're just like, what am I doing here? Okay. But then I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. But then the pastor went on and he was talking about having your Ebenezer moment. Did I say his name right? Ebenezer? Yeah. Which is basically just your breakthrough moment. God is preparing us for our breakthrough moment. I know, like, I can literally feel it. And this sounds crazy, but I can really feel it. And it was just confirmation because, again, I started my 60-day sober season before I went to church and before I heard all these things. But now that I'm in the midst of it, and I'm not going to lie, I was starting to question, like, can I just have a drink? Like, what is happening here? What are we really doing here? What am I doing this for? So it was just confirmation that I'm in a breakthrough season. My sober season is my breakthrough season, and some shift is going to happen, and I'm just here for it. And I want that for all my shady ladies. But y'all, please let me know in the comments, what is it that you can do right now to take you to the next level? And if you don't know what it is, DM me or something and let's talk about it, because I got some ideas if you need it. Sometimes it really just takes bouncing ideas off other people. Sometimes you don't want me in your business. Sometimes you don't want other people in your business, but I want to be in your business, so let me know. Hey girlies, we're going to take a very intentional pause because real quick, why haven't you locked in? Here's 15 seconds to get it done. If you're listening on Spotify, hit follow. And if you're watching on YouTube, then subscribe. That way you can be a part of all the conversations, past, present, and what's coming next. Now that we got that out the way, here's 5 more seconds to go like this episode. Thank you for locking in for real. All right, back to the episode. I want to talk about community and truly finding your people, because that's something that I've struggled with my whole entire life. I've never had to do life alone, but I've always felt out of place in communities, certain communities. I think it's because I've always felt abandoned or alone, even though I was never really that. It really just comes from like losing my mom at a young age and isolating myself and feeling like nobody understood, feeling like people should have been there for me in ways that they weren't, even though they were grieving themselves, and a whole bunch of mess. I've worked through it. So when it comes to finding my people, I've really been challenging myself to put myself in places that nobody knows me, because obviously the places where people know me, I'm still feeling a little bit empty and unresolved in a sense, and out of place. Obviously, the places where people know me, if I'm still struggling with finding my people, I still kind of feel out of place. So I'm trying to put myself in places where nobody knows me. And y'all know I be throwing all these events, and I'm famous for curating these spaces myself. I put these events together and I don't really like market to people who I know. Not that you're not invited. You're always more than welcome. I like to curate spaces where people can just come together from all walks of life. And I always set the vibe right. It's never a bad vibe at any of my events. And that's not to brag, but I think that just speaks to the type of person that I am and the type of things that I'm into. It just attracts the right people. But one thing I know for sure is that who you're networking with matters. So me trying to be on a new level, even as a real estate agent, I was talking about this with my accountability partner, like who you market yourself to really matters. For example, if you want to be a luxury listing agent, you're not going to be marketing yourself to lower class clientele. Not that you won't help lower class clientele, but you really have to put out the image of the life that you're trying to create, even if you don't necessarily have that life yet. So, for example, Pretty Spaces Powerful Portfolios, it was a brunch and I was charging $65 per ticket. That is the most expensive I've ever charged for an event, but the venue was different. The food was different. It was just me by myself actually planning it. So like, yeah, I put the price up there because this is my little baby and I really have to stop undercutting myself too. But that's another story for another time. But yes, so when I was sitting there and I was like, at first the tickets weren't really selling. But then I was like, Shaina, you put yourself in a lot of rooms. You throw a lot of events. I do a lot of free things. The people that want to go to those free events and want to do certain things, keep it under $20, those aren't the people that's going to come to something like this. This is something that's a bit more upscale. Have I actually put myself in rooms that those people are in? So I came across an event that my homegirl sister is having, and her ticket price was $60, $65, just about the same price as mine. And I was like, it just hit me like, these are the rooms that you need to be in. The rooms with the people who are paying the same prices for the tickets, because this is your price and the price is going up. So you want to be around those people who are willing to pay the price. You know what I mean? If that makes sense to you guys, it makes sense to me. I hope it makes sense to y'all. And this can be applied to your life as well, no matter what you're doing. It doesn't just have to be event planning, but just putting yourself in the rooms with the people who are doing the things that you want to do. Because at the end of the day, that's the community that you should be a part of. That's the community that you've been looking for. I mean, tell me this. What are you actually afraid of when it comes to putting yourself out there and going all out? I want to challenge you guys this month to do something scared. It is uncomfortable for me to go into rooms where I don't know anybody because I don't know nobody. But at the same time, I'm challenging myself to put myself in rooms where I don't know anybody because I'm still working on building a community where I feel seen and where I feel like where I feel like I belong. Also, purchasing a ticket to my homegirl sister's event. I don't know nobody who's going to be there. I know her sister, but I don't know her as well as I know her. So, and she's going to be busy. So it's not like I'm going to be kicking it up with her the whole time either. But it's going to be a bunch of ladies that I don't know, but it's going to be a bunch of ladies willing to be in rooms where the price is a little higher, like myself. So I want you guys to challenge yourselves this month to do something scared. This break could be yours. Yes, this moment right here. If you're a brand, business, or creative, building with purpose and looking to connect with the community that actually listens, Shady Conversations is your space. We don't do random ads over here. We collaborate with brands that align, care about impact, and want to grow with us. Your brand could be featured right here during our episodes, highlighted across our social media platforms, and welcomed into a community that values authenticity, faith, growth, and real conversations. If you've been looking for a sign to put your brand in rooms where intention meets influence, this is it. Like I said, this break right here could be yours. Email thatsoshaina@yahoo.com to find out how you can become a Shady sponsor. And let's build something meaningful together. All right, back to the episode. I do know that my community exists. And the prime example of that is my accountability partner, Jess. I love her so dearly. So let me tell you how this relationship started. It started on Threads. I made a post and I was just like, where are my real estate sisters who something, 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 something about an accountability group or something like that. And she commented along with a couple other ladies, but no other lady actually followed through. I think one other person I actually had a phone call with, but they never like met with us. It was supposed to be 3 of us, and it wound up just being the 2 of us. And we have been doing this since January 2025. It is August 2026. Now, it's really crazy how just a simple thread, me putting myself out there to meet random people to be my accountability partner, because y'all know entrepreneurship, it gets really lonely. Real estate especially, because everybody's looking at you as competition. But me and her, like, we really truly vibe and we see things the same. We're both in our 30s. I don't remember. Are we both 32? I'm pretty sure I'm older. But anyways, not that far older though. I'm 32 and she's probably going to kill me for that too, because I feel like I should know this. Her birthday just passed. Sorry, Jess. I'm sorry. I apologize. I know. Okay. So we're both in our 30s. We both have 3-year-old boys. She has one son and I have twins. And she also just had a daughter. But regardless, we both live with our men. She's married. I'm not married, but we both live with our men. So saying that to say, like, our lives really mirror each other. We live in 2 different places, though. I'm in Maryland, of course, and she's in Connecticut. But our lives really mirror each other. And we meet once a month, video chat once a month. And every time we connect, it kind of just feels like we're in the same era of life. And sometimes she has to encourage me through things, and sometimes I have to encourage her through things. But it's the only reason why we're able to encourage each other is because we're both dealing with the same things. And it's really mind-blowing how I really feel like I found my soul sister. And I told her this the other day. We always talk about how we're so excited to talk to each other when the time comes. But I really feel like I found my soul sister just by randomly just putting it out there on Threads. But that's just an example of me building my community. Now, I also decided to go ahead and throw on Threads that I have reached my I need an assistant era. And this was not me actually asking for an assistant, but the responses that I got from that message, like, that was probably my most popping thread that I've ever posted. I did get a whole bunch of virtual assistant replies, and that's not really the type of assistant that I learned that I'm looking for. But again, that's just an example of me. I literally was just putting a thought out there. I put a thought out there. I didn't ask no question. I didn't ask nobody to hit me up. Did I? Actually, you know what? I think I did say any takers, but I put a little laughing emoji. I didn't actually expect people to take me seriously, but they did. They took your girl seriously, which kind of is proof that, like, we kind of spoke about this before, how our success, our journeys, the visions that God gives us, if we don't take advantage of all the things, we are actually holding other people back from their success. The amount of people who are like, hey, I could be your assistant. I can do this. I can do that. I have this experience. Like, in this day and age, people are still looking for work. They might not be satisfied where they are, or they're just looking to get more clientele, whatever the case is. But I know I'm just one person and I really only need one assistant. And I got like thousands of people commenting and DMing me and emailing me. I still have people emailing me. But that really just goes to show that, like, Shaina, your story is bigger than yourself. My story impacts other people's story. And I know not all of those people are going to be the right fit for me. I'm not here to necessarily save everybody, and not really saving nobody, but that was just the words, for lack of better terms. I'm not here to save everybody, but I'm going to find an assistant. It's going to be the right assistant, just like I found an accountability partner who was the right accountability partner for me. And everything's just going to change. Because having an accountability partner, it really grew my business. It helped me stay focused. And I don't want to speak for her, but based on the conversations, I think it's done the same for her as well. And having an assistant is going to grow my business, but it's also going to impact my assistant. It's going to give them experience. It's going to give them direction. And hopefully it may bring them closer to God, because at the end of the day, that's the biggest assignment, to show people how God moves through me. And the only thing that I have to lose is not fulfilling the assignment. And I don't want to be the one. You're listening to Shady Conversations, the space where real women speak real truths, hosted by your legacy curator, Shaina Mowatt. And behind every episode is TSS Motif, the creative engine curating powerful experiences, brand storytelling, and meaningful conversations. From social media production to brand development, event curation, and transformational spaces, TSS Motif is where vision meets voice. If you're looking to collaborate, elevate your brand, or dive deeper into each episode through the Shady Conversations blog, head to tssmotif.com. All right, back to the episode. Okay, I'm not going to hold y'all too much longer. We're just going to head into some announcements. You guys, y'all know we have this active social club going, Move Link. You can find us on Instagram at MoveLink_Baltimore. We're also on TikTok, but we meet every second and fourth Saturday at Lake Montebello. Sometimes we switch it up on the fourth Saturday and we head out Owens Mills or we head out Columbia, but we always post and let you guys know where we're going to be. So y'all should come out. You should walk, you can run, you can jog. It's at your own pace, whatever you feel like, but it's a great way to meet people. You know, we're building community. We're building our communities. It's a great way to meet people. On August 22nd, we are having our very last High Rocks training. You guys, I missed the last one. I was so sad, but I'm not going to miss this one. I wasn't really sad because I was getting to the bag, but I was sad because I really enjoy the High Rocks trainings. Even though I'm not doing a High Rocks challenge, there are some people in MoveLink who are going to do it, so I'm supporting, and I like training with them. But yeah, we're having our final High Rocks training for this year on August 22nd. And then on September 12th, I am planning a Pilates and Prosecco event in the park for MoveLink. And y'all know, if you know, I do my events up. So y'all should come out and support. Both of these events are $15, so make sure you reserve your spot. If you're interested, hit me up on Instagram, hit us up on MoveLink Instagram. Like I said, second half readathon is on, and I did not finish my July book, which is No One is Self-Made by Dr. Key Hallman, but I'm still working my way through it. And I've already picked out my August book, which is going to be A New Earth, Awakening Your Life's Purpose, which was actually in Oprah's book club. And it's by Eckhart Tolle. That's how I found out about it, because I was watching that Keke Palmer Oprah interview and they were talking about it. And I was like, that sounds interesting. That's going to be my August book if I can ever make it through my July book. But I might be reading 3 books in September. We'll see. But yeah, that's everything that I have coming. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in. Can't wait to talk to you guys again. As we wrap things up, I just want to thank all of today's listeners for sharing space with me today. If today's conversation spoke to you, I hope you give yourself permission to sit with it, speak on it, and heal through it. Remember, she has an intentional destiny yielding, and this journey, it's yours to own. Don't forget to subscribe, share, leave a review, and follow us on Instagram and YouTube at That's So Shaina. If you're ready to be a guest or a sponsor, tap in. We're building this platform together. Until next time, stay shady, stay grounded, and keep the conversations going.